Hey guys, and what's up? It's Merc here from Bullshit Games, and it is going to be another episode of The Quest for Gaming at College. This week, some interesting things because the D&D group and my Pathfinder group at home have gotten off the ground, and I've managed to make it to a couple more of the playtest group that I'm in. So, I'll be talking about that. Some of the things I kind of plan on talking about this episode is troublesome groups. Again, it's just when the group dynamic is off. New gamers and seeing them enjoy and generally be pretty good at role playing, and reconnecting with an old group that you haven't played with in a while, and how much fun that can be. I went to do one of these and I missed my desk. But anyway. Sort of on the negative front, I guess, is sometimes you're in a group and the dynamics are just all wrong. And currently, I kind of feel that way with the playtest group that I'm in. I feel like the two other guys that I've been part of the group with that have been there and I've gotten to play some of the game with are there for a different reason than myself. I'm there to see what this game is like that my roommate is creating, give him feedback on things I feel that are missing and should be included in a game, and bring the fact that I've been playing role-playing games since I was 12 to the table to help him kind of bring things into the game that he might not have thought of. And the other two, I feel, are there just to kind of half-ass around. It feels like we come to the table for two different reasons, and I understand that. But when someone's there to take it seriously, and someone's not really taking it seriously, they're almost treating it as just an excuse to be a super badass and blow things up. Both people aren't getting the same enjoyment out of the game, at least in my experience. I plan on sticking it out for a while and seeing maybe if we get a couple other players to join. I know the roommate of mine has a couple other people in mind that he would like to come and play, and I know at least one of them he has said is more role-play oriented, so that would be good. I think that might fix the dynamics a little bit, and as things get hammered out and there gets to be more set in stone rules, I think it'll be better. But so far the story that he's coming up with is rather interesting, and the game itself is it's bare bones, and as it grows, it's getting progressively better, and it's kind of neat to have a part in, helping to figure out what constitutes the game growing and the like. So all in all, it's an interesting dynamic at the moment. We'll see where it goes. Moving on from that, the D&D group here at school that my friend Kaylin and I started got off its feet on Monday. By got off its feet, I mean escaped a root cellar. Now, let me explain. I'm co-DMing, so I don't really have a fox in the race right at the moment, so to speak. They're going to encounter my character a little later on. And the opening scene was initially them stuck in a root cellar. And I have not seen a party be completely stuck for quite as long as they were. The whole night was them finally getting out of the root cellar and exploring the ruins a little bit around them. But hilarity did ensue. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was quite funny, because One guy stood up without checking to see how tall the ceiling was, knocked his character out instantly. Another guy found a potato and for some reason decided to eat it, and it was poisoned, and knocked him out again after he had just woken up. Then another guy tried to throw a potato at the only character that wasn't in the root cellar to get him to wake up, fumbled, the potato splattered everywhere. It was a lot of shenanigans. But this is an instance where I want to talk about new players. And I feel sometimes in this hobby, in tabletop role-playing, I feel sometimes it's probably pretty hard for people that have never done it before to sort of break in if they don't have friends that are into it. Simply because it's probably, I mean, it is a little strange. It's a big session of make-believe. Not to say that it's bad, but it's not what everybody's used to doing. But in the group we have now here at school, I know we have at least 3 new people that have never played before. It might be 4. And Monday night was great because there came a point where you could see it start to click with everybody, how things worked. And you kind of just get into it, and once you get into it, you're having fun. You're not really worried about anything because you know everybody there at the table, everybody that's there playing the game with you, is there for the same reason. So if you get into character and you make characterful comments or you talk with a funny accent for your character, nobody's making fun of you for it because we're all, everybody at the table is there for that reason. And like I could definitely see it in a couple of the players. They started off kind of not knowing what to do, kind of like timidly approaching the situation. But as the night went on, they relaxed, they got into it. It was like they found kind of their groove, so to speak, and they seemed to really enjoy themselves. And as someone who's played for a long time, I guess sometimes I take it for granted the fact that it's a little intimidating when you've done, the first time you're doing this. Because it's like acting. It's kind of like acting. It's sort of like public speaking. You're there in front of a group of people. Granted, they're all there for the same reason, but if you don't know those people and you're only meeting them through the game for the first or second time, it can be intimidating. A little embarrassing, I guess. But I think that's a great thing about this hobby, is that it helps to kind of help people relax and loosen up in situations like that. And like I said, it's fantastic when you see new players doing things that surprise you, like asking the kind of questions that you would expect from someone who has been playing the game for 10 years or even like 3 years. It's always a cool thing to see, and I enjoyed it a lot. Not to mention our DM, my buddy. It's his first time running a game. He's played a lot of, from what I've gathered, he's played a lot of MMOs, and he's no stranger to like role-playing games via PC and things of that nature. But it's his first time DMing, dungeon mastering a pen and paper game. And he asked me after the session how I thought it went, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, I've done my share of DMing, and he did a fine job. He didn't really need help with anything, and he was on point. Story was ready to go, and there was really no like fumbling around trying to figure out what to do, and I thought that was great. And some of the concerns he and I had after our first session of if people were going to kind of take it seriously enough and things like that, they were answered, and everybody did a fantastic job. So that quest is off to a shaky but promising start, and as long as we don't get stuck in any more root cellars, I think we'll be fine. And then lastly, we have my current group back home where I'm from, which it's only 3 players and myself. And one of the players is the Lich Lord. He's kind of one of my regular partners in crime when it comes to gaming. Another friend of ours who has played in a campaign with us before, and again a person that's never played before. And we're doing Pathfinder down where I'm from because I like to run that a little bit better than D&D. And so far that's going really well. I found out personally as the DM, don't always trust the random encounter sections in the Pathfinder Bestiary number 1, because I rolled on that chart and my players got to face an Ogre Magi, which they were in a caravan and there was some NPCs to help them, so it didn't go too badly. The upside to that is they're going to get a bunch of experience for that at first level, probably go to second or third level kind of right off the bat, which it'll be good because it's always fun to level up. And I definitely know now that I need to sit down and kind of flush out my own encounter charts for the area, kind of for the current level they're at, and then bump them up as I go. So that's work I have to do on my end, which when you DM or when you DM, you have work to do. You have to put in work more so than the players. The cool thing, one of the coolest things that came up for me last Friday during that game was our new player who had never played before. He played WoW, so he had an idea of what he was doing. But we got towards the end of the night, and he looks at us and he's like, "This is the most fun I've ever had in a session of make believe." And that was, I don't know, I thought it was cool. It made me kind of laugh because essentially that's what we are doing. We are playing make believe. We're telling a story. We're interacting in a story that we're telling. And if someone who's never played before, their first time, they can unwind enough and be like, "Yeah, this is awesome playing make believe." I think that's kind of what you want from a role-playing game. Also, I found out that if you put a brothel in your game, it's where your players are going to go. It doesn't matter what else. Nope, right there. Found that out. So thanks, guys. That was great. Not that I'm surprised, but still. That's really it for the three gaming sessions going on now currently. I know I talked to my roommate today in his game, Eden. Next time they're gonna be doing a lot of working on charts and tables and trying to get some stats into the game, because I think it needs that right now, because it doesn't really have a hard set stat system, which I think most games benefit from having. There's that. I'm pretty sure next Monday at D&D, our group's going to run into my character, which could go either really well for them or really poorly, or kind of in the middle, because, yeah, not going to give too many details away because I know some of you watch this. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to maybe bump up, because it's supposed to be every other Friday at home, but I'm trying to decide if whether I want to bump up the game to this Friday so that next Friday I have some free time for my other gaming group at home, which will be playing Dystopian Wars. But, I did check out the gaming store up here around my college, and I thought a little bit about whether I wanted to put it in this video or give it its own separate video. And I think because this video is going to be over 15 minutes, and I know that when it comes to talking about the gaming store, I'm going to need at least 10 to 15 minutes, because there's a lot I'm going to get into there. I'm not going to put it in this video. It's going to be in a video that comes out probably the end of this week or sometime next week, simply for the fact that I was underwhelmed. And I'll explain why in the video when I get into that. But that's it for this time for the quest for gaming at college. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, maybe you'll give us a thumbs up or leave us a comment in the box below. If you didn't like the video and you want to tell us why, the comment section is a good place to do that too. I just kind of like doing this tonight. I don't know why. If you haven't subscribed, we'd appreciate it if you did, if you liked what we're doing. Favoriting the video is always helpful. We like seeing these things. It makes us happy. And generally, if you leave a comment, myself or the Lich Lord will definitely try to respond either through this channel or with our private channels. So that's it for the quest for gaming at college this time around. And we'll see you next time here on Poolshed Games.